Hey everybody, Jerry here for AndroidCentral.com, and today we're going to be putting the Bodyguard skin on the HTC Evo. You open up the package and make sure we've got everything ready here. We've got the Bodyguards, the phone, microfiber cloth, and I put a towel down on my table so I don't scratch my phone up. Open the Bodyguards package, and inside you'll find a little plastic squeegee. We'll need that later. A bottle of solution. Looks like water, probably has something else in it. Don't drink any of it. And a set of 2 Bodyguard skins. Makes it very handy if you mess up or later you want to put another one on. Take your cloth, clean the phone well. Get all the dust and dirt and fingerprints off. Get your solution opened and unwrapped. Take the Bodyguard skin. We're going to start with the front, the screen protector. Peel it off very gently. If you get very forceful with it and stretch it, your life will be miserable, so take your time and do it slow. Get it peeled off, lay it in your hand with the sticky side up. The sticky side is the side that will be going on the phone, of course. And we want to take the solution and spray it. You want to mist as much of it as you can. You don't want any big dry spots. Ideally, you don't want any big puddles of liquid. It's going to happen on a piece that big. It just takes a little bit longer to dry. It looks very ugly and scary when you first put it on, but as you'll see later, it does dry pretty well. I like to set it down and try to line up a spot that's cut out. On the screen protector, the top is cut out around the speaker grill, so that's a good place to line it up from. I take and lay it down, lift it up and down a few times to spread the solution around. And then once I'm satisfied that it's lined up nicely at the top around the speaker grill, I'll grab it gently by the bottom and roll it upwards almost the whole way to the top, and then gently let it roll back down. Don't worry about that bubble because we're going to smooth it out. That's what the solution's for. Take your finger and or the squeegee, smooth out all the big air bubbles and the excess solution, let it run off the bottom. Just use your best judgment here. Get as much of the air bubbles out as you can, and in the puddles of water, it'll dry faster and better. Wipe off all the excess solution around the edges. You don't need that getting in your way for the next step, which will be the back of the device. We want to take and make sure we pull out the battery cover, the big piece. That's where we're going to start with next. It's easiest to line up because it's got the holes cut out. Again, you peel it off gently. You don't want to stretch it out, especially this piece because it has an extra cutout around the kickstand. And if it stretches while you're peeling it off, it's never going to fit. Again, sticky side up, spray the solution on it, try to cover it nicely. Lay it on in an approximate position. Like I said before, this piece is pretty easy to line up. Don't worry about the bottom yet. Make sure your LED flash, your camera holes are lined up well, and then work in both directions from there. You want to make sure that the speaker grill is uncovered. Take your squeegee and push downwards towards the kickstand. That helps spread the solution and makes it stickier and will push out all your air bubbles. Take your finger in your cloth and clean it up. Then make sure your kickstand opens. Take a good look and try it. Check all your cutouts. You don't want any wrinkles around it, including the little clip to stick your fingernail under to open the door. And then you want to peel the kickstand piece off. You can refer back to the little diagram if you're not sure. Just peel it off. Give it a little squirt. Not too much. That piece is metal and it's a little bit more slippery than the rest of the device. You just line up one end. Get it where it looks good, it looks straight, and then gently take your thumb and slide it over so you can get all the edges lined up. And then you'll take your finger, smooth it out, and the squeegee. And you'll notice here the bottom, you've got some air bubbles forming where the back door is curved. That's just going to happen until the solution dries. Continue to take your thumb or your cloth and smooth them out. It'll stick back down shortly when the solution dries out. The sides are the tricky part. The hardest piece I found putting this on is the long side that does not have the volume rocker. It's because you have no reference of where it needs to go. Make sure the phone's clean, get a little bit of solution on the side, lay it down on the phone, and what you really need to do is check your top and your bottom. You don't want to have a whole lot of excess. Let's say the bottom is a whole lot longer sticking out over than the top. That means you need to reposition it and slide it up a little bit. Once you have it where it looks even, take your cloth and smooth it into place. The other side with the volume rocker, much easier to lay out. Just want to make sure you don't get any solution in the volume rocker holes. Spray your solution on the piece, and somehow or another you have to juggle it around so you can make sure the sticky side of your Bodyguards kit goes down, and line it up around the volume rocker. Again, you don't want any excess solution to drip down into the cracks. Once you have it lined up at the volume rocker, you're good to go. Take your thumb, hold it in place, smooth in both directions, get the excess water and air bubbles out. Again, you see me holding it in the middle. I'll lift the bottom to make sure it's straight and laid out very nicely. I don't want it to overlap. Smooth it all out, then we go to the bottom. You've got both the ports there. One extra thing to watch out for on the bottom is the microphone hole. If you cover that hole, it's not a phone anymore. Nobody's going to be able to hear you speak. So that gives us a good point of reference to put it on as well. Again, we peel the bottom piece off, and we'll spray a little bit of our liquid on it. Not too much, because you have all those ports and holes down there. Don't want solution and liquid running into everything. But we'll give it a little squirt and lay it in place around the microphone hole. That gives you a great point of reference of where to put the skin on. Lay it out on the phone, because of the solution, it's really easy to adjust. So I just lay it out, line up one edge so I know it's where it needs to be. Then down in the bottom, I'll lift and position it so the cutout for the microphone hole is correct. And then I'll look at the ports and make sure that everything is good there. And like I said, the solution lets you lift it and reposition it. Just take your time and make sure that your microphone hole is not covered. Don't ask me how I know that, because I have been there before. I've put these skins on and made that mistake. But get it in position, squeegee all the air and the excess moisture out, dry it with your cloth, and then triple check to make sure your microphone and your ports aren't covered, and dry it down. Make sure the top is clean. Again, this piece is pretty easy to put on. We have a nice cutout for the on-off switch. Make sure you don't get too much excess water dripping down around the switch. Just line it up so the switch, the on-off switch, is in the correct place on the cutout for the skin. Then look over at your headset jack and make sure it's not obstructed in any way. Get the edges where it looks nice. You play with it a little bit, position it, take your finger, smooth it all down, then you want to take the cloth and wipe the excess off, and that's it. You want to leave the phone off for 12 hours and let it dry, and good luck, guys.